You're a monster!
It's day 2 of the long-range quest we're doing out here. So, like I said, being kind of a noob at long-range shooting, being a competition shotgunner, it's a different situation. It's completely brand new to me, and I'm absolutely loving it. So, day 1, we did the sight-in of the new rifle, which we have affectionately named Rob's Zombie Slayer, because, you know, why not? We were going to call it Zombie, and then it became Rob Zombie, but that's taken. Then it was Rob's Zombie, and now it's Rob's Zombie Slayer. And that rifle just shoots amazing. So on day 1, what we did was we sighted it in at 100 yards, and we were figuring out our grouping. As I stated before, this is a 6.5 PRC. And these are all hand loads. So I'm getting the recipe for reloading these shells. And these are already determined what this rifle likes. So this is what we're sticking with, of course. Maybe a little experimentation in the future, but for right now, the rifle loves this load. And then after we did the 100-yard sight-in, we immediately went to 350 yards. And up above here, you'll see the target that I shot at 350 yards. Now, for this gun, 350 yards is really quite nothing. This is very, very capable for very, very long ranges. And here on day 2, we're starting at 350 yards, and then we're going to progress out as far as we can. So on day 1, we learned about windage and how to determine windage, and that was really, really cool. And we'll probably talk about that here later on in the video about how to determine windage without a Kestrel, but we have a Kestrel here. So what's nice about having the Kestrel is I can estimate based off of what I was taught, and then check it on the Kestrel and see how close I was, and I was getting pretty close. Now we're excited about going as far as we can today, and we're only limited by the skill that I've developed from day 1. So we're going to be filming this today. We'll let you know, you'll see how well we do, and welcome to day 2. So we have this all set up now. This is the mat that I actually purchased for this shooting class. What I like about the matches is we have the pockets up front to hold things if necessary, but the padding is where my elbows and where my knees would go. And there will be a link to this exact mat on Amazon on this video down below in the description. So so far, I'm absolutely loving this mat. It folds up, it's very light. Love it, it's great. There's the 6.5 PRCs, and Rob's Zombie Slayer. It's awesome. This is the primary target that we're going to be shooting at. Now, what's interesting here is he actually wants a perfectly round circle. We painted the center bright orange. But how do we get a perfect circle? We're going to show you in a second. So we have the orange circle there, but how do we make that a perfect circle?
So I like to use a can. You can use a can of spray paint. This is my butane refill for a cigar. Stick it on there roughly center. There's no right and wrong way to do this. You can use any type of form that you build or whatever. But hit the old bullet holes here. Bingo, bango, bongo.
And there's your center. That's awesome. There's a nice little trick for you if you didn't know that. On day 1, we had a pretty good sized target out there. And what we're placing now is a much smaller target, but the same size bullseye. So it's gonna appear as a smaller target to me, but the bullseye itself is still the same size. So it's like a psychological process. So all I have to do is keep in my mind that I'm still shooting at the same size target, even though the mass of the target seems smaller. So we're going to see how it goes. I'm very excited. This is a lot of fun. And like I said, you know, this is all brand new and a learning experience to me. So I'm in the process of learning how to judge the wind. So the winds come up now, so I know my dope is changing. It's been about 2 miles per hour and then peaking around 4 miles per hour. We're still shooting at 350 feet right now, but we have another target area that's already 1,000 feet out. So we're probably going to try that next, and I'm super excited about that. Sending.
See it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, send one more.
Hit. You want me to send?
Yep, send one more.
I'm going to do dead center.
Okay. I'd really pay attention to trigger control.
Right. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready when you are.
Gonna send.
Okay. See it? Same hole as the top right of the bullseye hole.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep that target there, all right?
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sending.
You are now in the same hole, two rounds in a row.
Okay.
Same exact spray. Can you see them?
Yeah.
See it?
Yep. One of the issues I have here is that I had neck surgery last year, so I have 2 of the vertebrae in my neck fused together, so having it at such an angle is uncomfortable. So I have to do some modifications. But overall, you know, hanging in there. I think for long range shooting, tabletop, you know, table rest is probably more of what I'm going to be doing, and maybe not so much of the prone, although prone's pretty damn fun. But haven't missed a target yet, and that's pretty cool. Right now we want to make sure that the grouping's good at like 350 yards. So when I start shooting farther away, I'm not dealing with massive changes. You know, the different angles, and you know, 1,000 yards, you know, 2 inches is going to be a miss. So, trying to make this do.
I'm thinking you were right all day yesterday, even adjusting for wind. You've had 1 flyer to the left today. Mm-hmm. Looking at that target, your 0 was kind of headed right a little bit.
Yeah.
So you were a decent group, but you were a little bit right. So I went ahead and adjusted.
Okay.
If there is not enough wind right now to affect the trajectory of your bullet significantly.
Okay.
So I brought you left a smidgen. and let's see. I want you to send around. I want you to just pay attention to deep breath, fully relaxed, and it fully relaxed. So when you breathe in, I want that deal to rise or fall, however, with your physiology, however you're sitting. When you take a deep breath, your reticle is either going to sink or it's going to rise.
Okay.
So at the exhale, I want you to come level on target.
Okay.
So take a couple breaths, figure that out, and then the minute you're on target, just start to squeeze.
All right.
Boom. And I want to see where you hit.
All right. I'm going to go dead center.
Dead center. No wind shift, nothing.
You got it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Don't worry about telling me when you're going to shoot. Just when you're comfortable, go. I'm watching. Fully relaxed, bottom of the breath, squeeze the trigger. One more. Same thing. One more. All right, take a break. Do you see where you hit all those?
Yep. Low left and then 2 upper right.
You now have a 3-inch group at 350 yards.
Okay.
So a 3-inch group at 350 yards is sub-minute, but we brought you off that right side. So now, I've got a mill scope. Let me take a peek real quick. Be willing to bet if I take this Kestrel out, as the temperatures come up,
And my send and no send says I'm level, so I'm good.
so I just dropped you down to 1.3, right?
Yeah?
From 1.5.
Yeah.
Look what it's telling you now with the temperature.
1.5?
1.3, 1.31.
Where? Oh, at the
The top,
top. Yeah,
yep.
yeah. 1.31. Dude.
As the temperature rises, you're going to have less drag because through warm air, hot expands, cold contracts.
Yeah.
So as the air gets warmer, it thins out. So you're going to, that's why you're shooting a little high now. And this is all stuff, once you get to your range and you start practicing, we're going to have you write everything down. It makes no sense for you to do it here because you will never have these conditions. You'll never shoot at 69 degrees.
Yeah.
You'll never shoot in 20% humidity in Florida.
It's going to be so much higher.
Yep. So when you go out,
Yeah.
you get your Kestrel, I want you to start looking at it and saying, okay, it is this day, I'm shooting at 350 yards, wind is this. So I'm going to have you write all this down later. We'll take a break and we'll have a discussion and have you take some notes.
Got it.
But what we'll do is I'll have you every day when you first start shooting, if there's a 5-mile-an-hour wind, I want you to hold dead center on target and pull the trigger.
Yeah, see where it goes.
And measure in your scope how many mils right or left you are.
Okay.
So you'll write down on this day, at this time, this temperature, this barometric pressure, this humidity, a 5-mile-an-hour wind moved me 0.7 mils right. So the next time you're out shooting, you'll go, and you put all this into a spreadsheet. You'll be able to sort. So are you decent with Excel?
Yeah.
My wife is, I suck. So column A will be temperature. Column B will be humidity, barometric pressure, wind. So that way you come out and shoot, let's say it's 88 degrees. You'll sort by column A and you'll find the closest temperature you have shot to 88 degrees and you'll look at it and go, okay, I've got a 6-mile-an-hour wind today. Okay, on this day, so you'll sort by column A and then D and say, okay, on this day at this time, now you've got your dope. You don't have to refer to the Kestrel if you don't want to. And it's important to focus and look at the foliage where you're shooting too.
Right.
So if right here you see the bend is coming kind of towards us, and this way. So we've got a little bit of a swirl up here, but we're up in a bowl.
Yeah.
So we've got high ground left, we got high ground at our 2, we got high ground in front of us.
Yeah, it's coming towards us and off to that side is the angle. Because you
Yep.
can see all these, and you can see the full bend.
Right.
And then looking at down there, it could be completely different. So you have to take it all into consideration.
So anytime you've got a draw like this, so this is a draw going down. So spur me up, draw me down. That's what we used to say in the military to kind of remember it. So a spur is going up, a draw is going down. And I would be willing to bet that if we went and stood on that bottom road down there, the wind is blowing straight this way in between these two hills.
Okay.
So at us, it's coming from the 2 o'clock. Halfway to target, it's probably blown straight across.
Gotcha.
But this is the best group you've shot at 350 so far. You can see it, it's definitely under a minute.
That's brilliant.
And you touched green twice. So, I mean, that's the difference between a freaking slight trigger jump or a little bit of a breath let out.
Yep,
Or
my trigger work's getting much better.
it is, and I watched you, you're not sending your finger off the end of it
Nope,
anymore. Yep. And you'll notice the consistency there.
yeah. I try, well, when I was a shotgun, when I was doing shotgun shooting, or when I do shotgun shooting, like I said, I have a ritual. So for long distance, I'm developing my ritual.
Right. And which is great because you're starting from scratch.
Yep.
You don't have any bad habits yet.
All right, we forgot to turn the cameras on because we were just too damn excited. So, I just fired my first shot at over 1,000 yards. Never done this before. We've picked out a target way the hell back out there. What was our distance?
12-18.
So, I just fired my first shot, 12-18 yards. And I hit it. My first shot. Wow.
So you were at 9.3 mils of elevation and 0.5 mils. It ended up being 0.47. We just did a 0.5 mil hold to the right of target, dealing with a 2 o'clock wind.
And I nailed it. I am in now the 1,000-yard club. First shot. I'll keep it rolling. We might as well do it. Turned on the GoPro too.
Yep.
We're gonna do another one. Holy shit, that was awesome. Excuse my language. Oh my goodness, that was absolutely freaking awesome. I'm brand new to this, and it kind of shows you that you don't skimp on what you need to get the job done. So later on, we're actually going to be checking out cheaper rifles, medium size, range rifles, and professional long range rifles, and talk about what the capabilities are before upgrades and so forth. This rifle is specifically designed for long range, and it did not disappoint whatsoever. What's really interesting is good scope rings, a good scope, and a good rifle. A good zero means everything. And then the calculations for understanding exactly how to move and how to adjust the scope is the only way you're going to hit the target. Everyone says use mils for long range. If you want to do MOA for hunting and shorter ranges, that's whatever. But realistically, if you start to get into long range competition or you're working with other long range shooters, they're all in mils. They all use mils. So plan ahead, especially if you're going to get into competition, because if you're going to get into competition, they're going to be telling you in mils how to adjust your hold. And if you don't know mils, you're not going to be happy about that. But not only did I hit the 1,000-yard mark, I hit the 1,200-yard mark. And that was awesome.
There we go.
All right, so let's explain what we have here.
So here we've got 9.31 mil. That's our elevation adjustment. We did a couple different miles an hour of wind. We went with the 0.55 mil hold because the wind kind of died down a little bit right before the shot. He held dead on. 1218 is what it ended up being, 1219 according to the rangefinder. So good breathing, good belly breathing, nice relaxation, rise of the reticle on the exhale, lowering of the reticle on the inhale, perfectly good trigger, touched it off, and he hit about 3 or 4 inches off center to the left of what he was aiming at, but the target, I mean, that's less than a quarter MO8 right there, so we are happy with that.
That's brilliant. So much fun. That's great. This is literally what I've done. I've done 100 yards, and then I did 350 yards, and then over 1,200 yards. First shot. And I can't even express to you the feeling of shooting something way out there and hitting your target. That was brilliant. Saving that shell.
Absolutely.
First shell I ever shot over 1,000 yards.
That's engraver worthy.
Yeah.
All right, so same thing, man. I know you're excited. You're feeling fucking confident as hell.
Yep.
Remember the breathing, remember the trigger. So deep breaths on inhale, lowering of the reticle, exhale, rising of the reticle. Natural pause, kaboom.
So my total long distance shot to date is 1219, 1,219 yards, and I didn't miss. And that's pretty freaking awesome. A lot of fun.